Dog the Bounty Hunter and his team have been looking for Brian Laundrie, and they have made significant progress in finding Laundrie alive. It was reported that Dog just came across a fresh campsite at a Florida park where he and his team found a can of Monster Energy Ultra Gold that they believed to be Brian Laundrie's. The can was not faded or rusty, so Dog believes the can was recently discarded by Laundrie. Yesterday on Twitter, Dog said, quote, "We're here at the island. This would be and could be the perfect spot for him to hide. Not too many people out here, but there's a lot of environmental things that we're going to fight." Adding, quote, "So here we go, the search is now really on. The search has just begun." Dog and his crew are currently searching around Fort DeSoto Park in Pinellas County, Florida. A source close to Dog the Bounty Hunter told the Post this week that the manhunt was taking place on Florida's Marco Island, and they were setting up a home base in that location to search for Laundrie all around Florida if needed. To remind you, Brian is from Florida, so many believe he is in the woods somewhere in that state. On Wednesday, Dog and his team were at Fort DeSoto Park, roughly 75 miles from Laundrie's home. This is the spot where Laundrie and his parents camped out on September 6th, 5 days after he returned alone from he and Gabby's cross-country trip in her van without Gabby. Petito's body was found at the Bridgers-Teton National Forest in Wyoming on September 19th. Laundrie family attorney Stephen Bertolino has confirmed that Laundrie and his parents, Chris and Roberta, were at the campground on September 6th and 7th, and Dog thinks the parents left Brian there so he could flee alone. On September 17th, Laundrie's parents reported him missing 3 days after he allegedly told them he was going for a hike at the Carlton Reserve in Sarasota and then disappeared. Currently, Laundrie is not a suspect in the case, but he is a person of interest in the case, which has now been ruled a homicide. Last week, an arrest warrant was issued for Laundrie on federal fraud charges for allegedly using someone else's bank card. This bank card belonged to Gabby Petito. So that's all we know as of now. Please leave me your thoughts below, and really, I think Dog's gonna find him within the week. I really believe it. I think he has made so much progress. It's so amazing that he got involved, and I'm really excited to see what happens next.
We have a new update on the case of Gabby Petito. As you may already know, Gabby Petito, a 22-year-old influencer, and her boyfriend Brian Laundrie were road tripping and documenting the experience, but all of a sudden, Gabby's socials went dark and her family lost contact with her. She was reported missing on September 11th, but sadly her body was discovered on September 19th. Gabby's disappearance and subsequent investigation has had people looking into her history and relationships, especially with her boyfriend, who right now is suspect number 1. The reason for this is because people have learned that leading up to Gabby's disappearance, there was a history of domestic disturbances between the couple. On September 16th, the Grand County Sheriff's Office released over an hour of body cam footage of an officer responding to a 911 call where a witness said that they saw a man hit a woman to the ground. This couple turned out to be Brian and Gabby. After this initial footage was released, the public started looking more and more into Brian Laundrie and how he treated Gabby, but just recently, new body cam footage has been released that shows the full aftermath of when police found the couple after getting the 911 call. This footage is from after Gabby and Brian were separated and were being questioned about the event. The footage from the officer taking in Gabby's statement is what people are really focused on because it sheds more light onto what happened during their altercation. Within the 52 minutes of footage, it includes Gabby's confirmation that Brian did put his hands on her.
Don't worry, just be honest.
He grabbed my face, like this. He didn't hit me in the face, he didn't punch me in the face or anything.
Did he slap your face or what?
Well, he grabbed me with his nail, and I guess that's why it looks. I definitely have a cut right here because I can feel it when I touch it, it burns.
Gabby was pretty reluctant to share the information with the officer at first and prefaced her statement by telling the officer that she had laid her hand on Brian first, almost as to justify her actions. Following that, Gabby pleaded to just be let go from the situation and said to the officer, quote, "We're a team, please. It's going to give me so much anxiety. Can we just have a driving ticket?" The officer could definitely tell that something was very off even before Gabby admitted to Brian getting physical with her, because he pointed out that Gabby had a number of marks on her body.
Yeah? Is there something on your cheek here? Looks like, did you get hit in the face? Kind of looks like something hit you in the face. And then over on your arm, shoulder, right here. That's new, huh? It's kind of a new mark.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Can I see the other side of your face? So, what happened here and here?
The rest of the footage really just includes officers trying to decide what to do with the couple in this situation. At the end of this altercation, no charges were laid, and at the officer's suggestion, Gabby and Brian spent the night apart, with one sleeping in the van and another in a hotel room. Now this new footage confirming what was already suspected of Gabby and Brian's relationship just adds to the mountain of heat that Brian is already under. Brian is currently on the run from authorities and hasn't been seen since fleeing his parents' house in Florida. As of now, Dog the bounty hunter is reportedly on the hunt for Brian and has recently told sources that he is, quote, closing in on Brian. Nothing can really be confirmed of Brian's location or well-being for that matter, but there are a lot of people looking for him because people need answers. I feel like the more time passes, the more information will come out. I want to believe that because this would be so unfair to Gabby to let this case go cold. There have been a lot of people online trying to crack the case themselves, and some authorities are actually pretty grateful for the help that's been given by the public. I just really hope that this case can be solved soon and justice can be served. So far, Cassie has been the only member of their family to have publicly discussed the case, but it looks like the public statements that she's made have come back to bite her because people have caught on to the fact that she's been making conflicting statements about the last time that she's seen her brother. In the first public statement she made, Cassie said that she hadn't seen her brother since September 1st, when he returned to their family home in Florida just shortly after Gabby went missing. But now we found out that Cassie has allegedly seen her brother twice since Gabby's disappearance. The family's attorney said that Cassie had seen her brother on September 1st and again on September 6th at Fort DeSoto Park after joining the family on a camping trip, adding that, quote, law enforcement agencies are well aware of these dates. Being that Cassie is the only one who's spoken to reporters about the case and her brother, she is really the only source that we can rely on to get any information about the family's involvement and the views on the whole situation. In a recent interview, Cassie opened up about the case and her brother, where she said, quote, I haven't been able to talk to him. I wish I could talk to him. I've cooperated in every way that I can. I wish I had information where I could give more, end quote. Now on the surface, it would sound like the family is trying their best to help the situation, but that might not exactly be the case. Ever since Dog the bounty hunter got on the case, he started to reveal things that have people thinking differently about the Laundries. The newest thing that Dog has exposed was the fact that Cassie visited Fort DeSoto on September 6th. Dog was the one to turn that tip over to the authorities, and it looks like the lawyer was just trying to cover up that slip up because there might be something bigger that they're trying to hide, like perhaps Brian's whereabouts. Remember, it was pretty sus how Brian went on that family camping trip and the reservations that his mother made for the campground were changed at the last minute to include 3 people. Now I think Dog found this to be a little sus too, because he got a tip that on the dates that 3 members of the family were supposed to be going to the camping grounds, only 2 people were seen leaving. Some people believe that this could be proof that Cassie and perhaps other members of the Laundrie family are in on hiding Brian. Dog has been on the case and says that he's honing in on Brian's location, so we'll just have to wait and see. Other than Cassie and her almost scripted statements, the family is very tight-lipped about things, but you wouldn't expect this level of silence from a family of someone who's on the run from the police. You would probably expect the family to be trying to prove Brian's innocence, but instead they've said nothing. Does that seem a little suspicious to you? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully we do get more information as to what may have happened to Gabby Petito, because she certainly deserves justice. Just recently, Dog added more money to the reward for any information that leads to Brian's capture. Before his contribution, the reward stood at $170,000, but now it looks like Dog is getting desperate and is looking for more help in his search. Brian, who hasn't been seen by anyone but his family since September, is still reportedly on the run from authorities after becoming a suspect in his fiance's disappearance. At first, we thought that Brian was last seen on September 1st when he visited his family in Florida, but thanks to Dog and his investigation, a tip was uncovered that suggested that Brian had actually been last seen by his sister Cassie, a fact that had been unknown by the public until just recently. Dog has been able to uncover these clues, but he hasn't been able to find the real person of interest. And why is that? Why has the search slowed down so much that the reward had to be bumped up? Dog has set up a tips command center in Hawaii, as well as a temporary remote center in Sarasota, Florida, as part of his search for Brian, and just a couple of days ago, Dog said that he was very close to finding the wanted man, but due to the conditions of the remote Florida island on which they've been conducting their search, it made it more difficult to search the area. On Friday, when Dog said that he was close to finding Brian, Dog had reportedly received information to suggest that Brian was in fact still alive and moving in the area earlier that week. At the time, the intel that Dog had been given was still new and seemed to be reliable information, but since Brian still hasn't turned up, it has people wondering if Dog will really be able to find him, and some even wonder how hard he's even looking. As the bounty hunter has been carrying out his search, some people have accused Dog of only taking on this case for publicity. Dog has responded to these allegations, ensuring the public that he's not in on it for his own personal gain, but to bring Laundrie to justice, saying that he only cares about Brian being apprehended. Dog's spokesperson also made a statement saying, quote, "Whenever there's a case like this, people naturally send him messages and info because of his past track record as a bounty hunter. He and his wife Francie have been working tirelessly on all the leads pouring in and are glad to be able to help in some way in the hopes that Brian Laundrie can be located." End quote. Do you guys think that Brian will be apprehended? He hasn't been seen for a month now, and there are still so many unanswered questions about Gabby Petito and what happened to her that Brian might be able to answer. Also, do you think that Dog will be the one to find Brian? Other than having raised the reward for Brian's apprehension, Dog has also expanded his search team to include a K-9 unit, as well as former Navy SEALs and Marines. With so much effort, time, and resources being put into the search, do you think that Brian will actually turn up? Or will his trail go cold before anyone is able to find him? Let me know your thoughts down below.